Let's take a listen to Donald Trump's comments.
Sitting, and I was
It's bad for both. Biden, if they got in the day.
Okay, so this is Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Donald Trump and Elon Musk is talking about Israel and Palestine, and I'll mention it, and then I'll just put the camera up to the speakers. But Donald and Elon were talking about Palestine and Israel, and he's talking about how she is just this extremist, which isn't smart. He's talking about how she's an extreme on fracking and how she wants to defund the police and how she's terrible with Israel. So that means she's great on Palestine, she's great on the environment, and she wants police reform. Donald, you're not going to get me to love Kamala. Kamala is right-wing. She is a cop. Kamala's a cop. She's a DA. Fracking, I don't know her position on fracking, but I know she was throwing parents in jail for truancy. She was a big old right-wing Nazi when it came to marijuana, threw a whole bunch of black men in jail over marijuana. And then on immigration, she says, do not come, do not come. She's the vice president for Status Quo Joe. You're going to tell me she's a fucking Marxist? You're going to try to tell me she's the most left-wing person ever? Get the fuck out of here. So Donald and Elon did talk about Palestine and Israel, and he had said that she is very anti-Israel, and that Donald says that Kamala loves Palestine. She's an extremist on Palestine. And then Elon had mentioned that Kamala stood Netanyahu up when he had spoke to Congress, and Donald said that both Israel and Palestine both hate Joe Biden. And so actually Joe Biden did the impossible. He brought unification, which is that a joke or is he being serious? Joe Biden was able to unify Israel and Palestine because they both hate Joe Biden. So it's like Donald's trying to get me to vote for Kamala. Kamala rolled her eyes at the Palestinian protester at first, right? She was like, fuck you Palestinian protesters. And then the second speech, this is when she first comes out. And then the second speech, she addressed them in another speech. She had addressed them and just said, look, I care about your concerns and we're gonna do something about that. And then at a question and answer with reporters, she said, spare the civilians, right? But you got to get those hostages back. You got to bring the hostages back, but Israel needs to spare the civilians. And when she did that Q&A with the reporters, she was also saying she was pushing for a ceasefire. They're working around the clock in order to get a ceasefire deal. And when she did that interview, that's the same day that Joe Biden fast-tracks $3.5 billion in, kills 100 Palestinians. And only 10 of them, they said, were, so-called terrorists. So here, take a listen. This is for posterity. Here we go.
She got in. She'll end fracking. And by the way, if people didn't think that, the lunatics that really believe in that, they won't vote for her. Like the Palestinians and Israel. She is so anti-Israel, and she's bad for both. Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him. Both sides. That was a hard thing to do. Unification.
Yeah, no. I mean, Netanyahu came to give a talk to a joint Senate and House sitting, and I was there, and Kamala stood him up. What does that say?
I think it's highly disrespectful. And I say, if you're a Jewish person or if you believe in Israel, if you're a person that, is very pro-Israel, if you vote for her, it's worse than Biden. And Biden was bad. But if you vote for her, you ought to have your head examined. And you see tonight, as we're doing this, I'm seeing reports coming that they expect an attack tonight or tomorrow from hundreds and maybe thousands of rockets. Their Iron Dome, as they call it, as we all call it, but their shield that they build, that can be.
Okay, so that's pretty much all the thing that he says in regards to Kamala. The other thing I want to mention was just that Ralph Nader, with that whole standing Netanyahu up, that Ralph Nader had said that her husband actually talked to Doug. So she just got nominated. She just got the nomination. So she was doing some campaign events. She did some campaign speech. So it's not like she snubbed him. People were saying it was a snub, but she did a campaign speech. So was it a snub, or did she just have a prior obligation? You say you're going to go speak at a university, and then oh shit, fucking Netanyahu's coming to town. But she sent her husband to go talk to him. That's according to Ralph Nader. She's the VP for Status Quo Joe, who sent $3.5 billion and killed 100 Palestinians. So when she says she's going to codify Roe v. Wade, and she's probably going to spend $3.5 billion to not codify Roe v. Wade, and then 100 Palestinians are going to die. If she was against fracking, well, she'll spend $3.5 billion to make sure it doesn't happen, and then make sure 100 Palestinians die. If she does legalize marijuana, like I said, she's a right-wing queen. I don't know any of her liberal stances on anything. She's the DA, Kamala's a cop. On immigration, she says, do not come. Deporter in chief. Let's see. The truancy, throwing parents in jail, threw all those black men in jail for marijuana, threw parents in jail because the kids weren't going to school. So she's a cop, right? She's a prosecutor. She defends the cops. She defends the system. She defends whatever a fascist Nazi fucking cop does. So if she was for defund the police, that would be awesome. If she banned fracking, that would be awesome. If she cared about stopping the genocide, that would be awesome. So it's like Donald just trying to get me to like her, and it's not going to work, Donald. It's not going to work.